Welcome back. We are covering the top quotes and highlights from the Sasquatch Message to Humanity, book number 2. So let's go ahead and dive right into the quotes. The first one is, choose wisely which path you follow, which thoughts you feed, where you focus attention. You are co-creator through the infinite consciousness you carry, and your dreams manifest. Just like in the first book, it's a good reminder that thoughts are things. Where you focus your energy is what you're going to get in return. So if you have constant negative actions, thoughts, or feelings, well, guess what? You're going to keep receiving those negative things happening to you in your reality. And then it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because it just drives you in this circle of more negativity, more bad things happening, which gives you more negative thoughts, and the cycle continues on and on. Just as if on the flip side, you start doing good things for other people, for yourself, positive thoughts, positive affirmations, you will start to see those positive things come back to you. It won't be instant, especially if you've had a long life of negative things or thoughts happening, but the universe will recognize that, and you will start to see those changes. If you recall from book number 1, change yourself and the world around you changes. This next quote speaks to diseases and ailments. It reads, your ancient shamanic cultures were right when saying that diseases are spirits invading the body. Apart from the bacteria and viruses, living entities can cause them. Every ailments and illnesses have a deeper karmic cause in the alter universe. They have to be invited by thoughts and emotions, making your aura and body vulnerable. Physical medicine treats the symptoms, while holistic healing treats the cause and soul. And when they talk about the alter universe, they're talking about like the ether, the dark matter, this body of energy that we can tap into. And there's still huge debates about it in the science community, although it's pretty much been proven that it does exist. But it's that tapping into and accessing and using that energy is where a lot of the science fails, where the spirituality side of things, the shamans, the holistic healers, and psychics and mediums, and all these people with these abilities that we all have, we just have to tap into and unlock. They are tapping into this alter universe, and this is what gives them the ability to do so many things. So if you find yourself sick or injured or have some sort of ailment, take some time to think about what may be causing this, not so much from the physical side, but the spiritual side. And they make a good point to remind us that the physical medicine we use, the pharmaceuticals, it's just like a band-aid. It covers up the problem, but it doesn't cure or actually fix anything. For some context about this next quote, the Sasquatch mentioned the lower lords, the cabal that are in power of things. People ask, why is there so much suffering and violence and war and everything? Well, because that's the way they've designed the planet to be. And they've convinced us that is the only way, when in fact it's not. So the quote reads, prayers and focused intentions are also powerful tools to reverse the spells of the cabal. They are thought forms sent into the alter universe that create ripples and resonance. They can reach the souls, hearts, and minds of even those who don't believe in them. They can have a great influence at distance, especially when calling on higher powers. Call on the omnipotent Great Spirit, but invite also your elders, guides, and allies to join. Project a beam of light to channel healing, a bright circle of light around for protection. So while there is lots of suffering and terrible things happening around the planet, we can use our thoughts and prayers to focus love energy towards the people that need it. And in fact, if you want, you can send love and forgiveness energies to those people that are causing these problems. Why? Because they absolutely cannot stand it. They love when you talk about them. They love that you're in fear. They feed off of that. So if you start sending them waves of love and forgiveness, you've got millions, billions of people doing that, they're going to peace out. They're going to take off, realizing they've lost their power, they've lost their grip. And those mindful thoughts can make real world physical changes. This next quote speaks a little bit more on that as well. The more trauma is inflicted into a soul, the easier it is for the cabal to control its mind. This is how they have created armies of zombies and patsies, bringing chaos into the world. They use them for shootings, assassination, terrorist attacks, and dirty jobs to raise fear. That is why they intend to cause all the sufferings they can to keep their grip on Earth. That is why they are not concerned about a total destruction, which means their victory. A mass extinction indeed creates a vast reservoir of souls without bodies to return in. So this is something to consider as well about the ultimate end game. And when you hear these conspiracies that people talk about, even though I really don't believe in that word, because behind everything there's a bit of truth somewhere. And why would they want to destroy the very world that they have a grip of? Well, because 1, they can. 2, they don't care. And 3, because they would still remain in control. And when you hear about all these people, I'm not going to name names because you can find out very easily, who want to take down the human population drastically in numbers, well, that's why, because more people kept in fear and less physical bodies, that souls will be able to incarnate. Because if you wipe out huge, vast amount of people, chances are the people left really aren't going to be spending their time reproducing, and you're just stuck in this fear loop, and we're essentially back to the Dark Ages. And this is something that we absolutely have the power to stop. But they certainly don't want that to be on the news. This next quote highlights the importance of consciousness. There is no existence without consciousness. This has been proven by quantum physics with the well-known 2 slots experiment, showing that particles manifest into existence only when observed by consciousness, without which everything remains as waves of possibilities in parallel dimensions. Thus, the purpose of existence is the evolution of consciousness through experience and expansion of the soul, and on the biological level, by the transmission of acquired information to the following cells through genetic codes. So a little bit of a heavy one there, but essentially everything is consciousness, everything is energy, and everything can carry information. And it hints at what our entire existence is all about. And it's that evolution of the consciousness through the experiences we are having. What better test of way, if you are an infinite being, to go down into a 3D physical world, forget everything, and try and find yourself again. Talk about an amazing story of remembrance. Everyone is on their own hero journey. You may not be doing it this lifetime. Maybe you've already had it and you're just down here on Earth having fun, or you're well on your way to expanding that consciousness for the greater soul. And on the flip side, because this transmission of information flows through our genetic codes, the people or the entities in power, they know this, and our families throughout history have been through so much trauma that we still carry that today through our genetics. Just think of all the trauma and turmoil that royal families, religions, the governments in power have done to their own people and other people, of course, other cultures all around the world. That trauma carries throughout generations in the cells of the body, the DNA. They know this and they use it to their advantage. Now, yes, you can solve it. You can do a clearing. You can start meditating, diving real deep. You can go at it alone, or you can get some outside help from some other healers and shamans, psychic mediums, those types of people as well who are able to help. This next one is fun because it talks about technology a little bit. And if you really dive deep down into the rabbit hole, there was people working on anti-gravity in the early 1900s, which is just mind-bending to even think about. Now, if you're in the UFO space, of course, I'm assuming you've touched on it at least a little bit if you're watching this video. We know for sure there's been huge cover-ups since the 1947s, with Roswell being the biggest one, but it goes back way, way further than that. So I highly recommend to dig into that a little bit. Dr. Michael Salla has a great video with Dan Willis as well, who breaks down the entire history going back to, I think it was 1919, with some early examples of scientists working on these projects. Anyways, the quote reads, "Anti-gravity is the very first step towards the capacity of leaving from any home planet. It can be easily created by sending a direct electrical current in a circular motion in one direction and an alternative current inside of it in the opposite direction. This is basic physics that any apprentice scientist can easily apply in their homemade experiments." And it's funny when they talk about this type of technology and how easy it is. And then you really start to think, well, number one, I'm not a scientist. I don't understand physics at all, so I wouldn't be able to do anything like this. But there definitely are people working on these projects. And Dr. Stephen Greer, I know a lot of people out there don't like him. You don't have to like him, but he has great information. In his latest documentary, he shows how thousands upon thousands of patents have been slapped with a national security order, confiscated, and God only knows what happens to these projects or the people. In a nutshell, anyone who comes up with any sort of alternative means of energy or propulsion gets shut down immediately. And because the scientists out there don't know this, they keep patenting their project, thinking it's the very first one that's ever been invented, and they're going to make $1 billion, not realizing there's been thousands of people before them trying to do the same thing, and they get shut down every single time. So it is just funny how they say how easy this is. Well, if it's so easy, why don't we see it? Because we're not allowed to. And going further down the rabbit hole, when you start watching others and their research and realizing that while we're being told this stuff doesn't exist, we're alone, everything else, now you've got these whistleblowers talking about secret space missions that have been around since forever. It's possible the Germans were up in space back in the 1940s, and it just goes deeper and deeper and deeper. So we're being played for fools is what it comes down to. And I'm going to end it on this very powerful quote. So listen to this one. "The purpose of existence is experiencing the evolution of consciousness through interactions, while peaceful, loving relations bring healing, balance, and higher wisdom. Now it is time for humanity to make its choice. Either remain in denial of the truth, caught in a man-made karmic hell heading straight to a final total destruction, or else open up your soul, feel empathy for all life, realign with the cosmic order, and welcome back the star elders on Earth as your relatives, ancient allies, and teachers. As long as there is life, there is consciousness, and there is hope for humanity to change." Now, I had a lot more highlighted quotes here in this book. I decided to leave out just because I'd be here all day. And a lot of them, I mean, it's just one of those books you read. Everything is just profound and amazing, and it leads on from paragraph to paragraph and works off of each other. So a lot of these quotes, you need to have the backstory of before and after it. Otherwise, I'd just be sitting here reading the entire book. But go ahead and get these books for yourself, the 3-part series. I'll leave a link in the description below to Amazon. You can pick it up in the physical books or on Kindle, or if you have Kindle Unlimited, you're all set, because as of right now anyways, it's included in that bundle with your subscription. So I highly recommend pick these books up, give them a read, and would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you had any aha moments, or if this is stuff you already knew. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video. We'll go over the top quotes and highlights from book number 3, The Sasquatch Message to Humanity.